back in the books. Let's get in this Prince Hall Freemasonry. I know I be on everything, man. Ain't a platform, ain't a subject that I don't know about. All right. Because the societies provided real benefits in the reflected black middle class aspirations, they spread to every black urban community. More than 100 such organizations existed in Philadelphia alone by 1830. Although these societies were more common in North and South Baltimore, had about 30 of them. But the same year in Charleston, South Carolina, had at least two. One of them was the Brown Fellowship, founded in 1790, which only admitted only black men with lighter complexions. The other was open to all free black men in Charleston. Okay, of the particular importance of the Black Freemasons, because unlike other free or black organizations, the Black Freemasons united black men from several northern cities, combining nationalities, racialism, and uh, sacred and obscure rituals. Freemasonry was a major movement among European American men during the late 1800s. The early 1900s opportunities for male bonding were fancy regalia and achieving prestige in supposedly ancient heresy attached both black and white men to historical James Oliver Horton, and Lewis E. Horton suggested black people drew special significance for European-based orders, but claims have originated in ancient Egypt, which black people associated with their own African heritage. Facts. The most famous black Mason at the time of Prince Hall Freemason of the Revolutionary War and the veteran of abolitionists during the 1770s. He began in Boston what turned out to be in 1735, 1807, dressed as a gentleman. Talk about Prince Hall, dressed as a gentleman among the Freemason symbol, the former slave, a skilled craftsman, entrepreneur, abolitionist, and an advocate of the black education. Hall is best remembered as the founder of the African Lodge of North America, properly known as Prince Hall Masonry, became known as Prince Hall Masonry. In several respects, Hall was relationship with Masonry maximized the free black predicament in America. 1775, the local white Freemasonry Lodge rejected Hall's application to be a member because of his black ancestry. Therefore, Hall was a patriot and organized the African Lodge #1 on a basis of limited license he secured from the British Masonry Lodge associated with the British Army occupied Boston. The irony of the situation compounded them. The war was the first independent war. American Freemasonry refused the grant of the African Lodge and a full character. Hall again had to turn in his British Freemasonry, who approved the application in 1787 under the British chapter of the Hall in 1791. Organized African Grand Lodge of North America, later renamed Prince Hall Lodge. And it became the first Grand Master. And he became the first Grand Master. I got something to say about that. Even before this, he had begun authorizing the lodges in the cities including Philadelphia, Providence, and Rhode Island. So, we're dealing with Prince Hall Freemasonry. Now, you see, he called it the African Lodge. Now, I want to that go to black people in America, man. It's the African Lodge. Now, he didn't use no other words. None of them words that y'all like to use. He did use African Lodge. Okay? Understanding that we have a greater history than what they teach. And so they refused him because they say he the first Grand Master in, this part of the world. You see what I'm saying? But we understand, as he understood, that the ancient Africans created Masonry, created Masonry. And Freemasonry, okay, but Masonry come from the Africans of the Nile, and they are the grand masters of craftsmanship, architecture, and art. That's period. And he understood that, so he created the African Black Prince Hall Lodge or whatnot. And so, and sometimes when organization is formed, especially one similar to this, you see what I'm saying? It be a place where we can go talk our business outside of prying eyes or whatnot. Same thing when I was talking about a couple months ago when I did the AME church or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? But, it's a way that we can remember our history. You see what I'm saying? And, being that we live in a racist society, that information had to go underground. It had to be capsulated and brought into a back room where we could talk about it amongst ourselves and decipher what we needed and what we didn't need and go through the evidence. So Prince Hall understood that, so he created the Prince Hall Free Lodge, Black Mason Lodge or whatnot. Prince Hall Freemason. But if y'all look at the symbols that they use, even in white Freemasonry, right? And some of like the grip of the lion's paw or whatnot, a lot of that be African. You see what I'm saying? If you look at the back of your dollar, right? What dollar is? Okay, here we go. Okay? You see, it got the Kushite temple. That's not an Egyptian. That's a Kushite temple. And then it got the Horus with Ra over the top of his head. And if you notice, he holding, I think, 13 arrows. Let's see. Let's count. Where the Shanu's would be, that Horus would hold, he holding 13 arrows, and then he holding this herb or whatnot. But as you can see over the top of the pyramid, you got that eye. And the eye always means see. You see what I'm saying? And see, what they saying is they done seen the origin of humanity. And they understand, listen, how other way you gonna explain that this is on the back of their money? And then they say in the middle, in God we trust. See, they understand the history of black people, man. They understand the history of black people. That's why they created the white Freemasonry. Now, in 1775, a man named Adam Wishinger or whatever, it's hard for me to say his name, he created the Illuminati. You see what I'm saying? Which is another secret society. You see what I'm saying? So the white Freemasons understanding the truth of black people, they had to create a glass capsule and hide our history. You see what I'm saying? And they pulled it in the Freemasonry. Because I told y'all, when they do they ritual or whatnot, and they talk about, and they do many of them. You see what I'm saying? They do many of them. And they talk about walking through the burning sands or whatnot. And then when you get to the end of the hall, it be a black man standing there. And the trainees, they tell him, the person that's training him, tell the trainee that this is, take the veil over his face. Meaning they've been living in a fake reality. That's what the veil means. And when he take that veil over his face, he beginning to see the real story. And when he take that veil off his face, it be a black man standing there, and they say, "This is your father." Now go up to Washington D.C. Now, Washington D.C. the blueprints was made by a Dogon, a man from the Dogon tribe named Benjamin Banneker. And he created the blueprints for Washington, D.C. Now, if you go look at the movie, what's that, with Nicolas Cage in it, he going around finding these secrets of Freemasonry. You see what I'm saying? And he going around getting these clues, because when you get, and you see at the end of the movie, I can't think of the name of that movie, but nothing. At the end of the movie though, they at the bottom of the church, and you got all these African statues in there. Anubis, you got all of these African statues in there, showing y'all what it is, even through the movies. National Treasure, that's the name of it, National Treasure. But now, if you look at white Freemasonry, right? If you look into that, right, and you see all the founder, him. Look who on the front of the dollar. All of these say they the founding fathers or whatnot. All these people was Freemasons, man. Freemasons, period. And then you see all these symbols on the back of these people's cars in order to show whoever driving behind them who they are. Man, I know, trust me, yo, I know. But all of the Freemasons, whether black or white, they know the original Grand Masters and the original teachers, the original temples, and the original is in the Nile Valley, period. And you can't show no older buildings than the ones in the Nile Valley outside of Africa. That's period. So that show you where the occultism come from. It show you see what I'm saying? It show you, because that just mean hid. That just mean hid. And it show you where the occultism come from and African spirituality even. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of it got to be hidden, because, we'll go out here and teach, and, people not ready for what we teach, but now they are. Now they are. Some. But it's a gradual process. You see what I'm saying? And, in time, because it took me a long time to understand. You see what I'm saying? But every leader of a Fortune 500 company, whether it's the CFO, the CEO, all of them are Freemasons. That's facts. And black Freemason came when Prince Hall got refused into white Freemasonry. And as we see, they gave him the license to go start his own. You see what I'm saying? Though they didn't agree, he had to go to Britain to do that. They didn't agree for him to do that in the Americas. But he understood that our history is Africa, and he understood that the first architects and the first builders come up out the Nile Valley, which is the African Nubians of the Nile. Drop out.